Welcome to our tutorial on scheduling a campaign in AdMaster, the traffic and billing tool that you can use at your office, at home or on the go. Before we dive into the details, take a moment to check out our Scheduling a Campaign in 2 Minutes video, showcasing the speed and simplicity you can achieve once you're familiar with the interface. Now, let's explore the detailed tutorial. AdMaster offers 3 distinct methods for scheduling campaigns. Static schedule. This option repeats the same hours and plays from day to day, offering advanced features we'll cover thoroughly. Variable schedule. Harness the power of AdMaster's scheduling algorithm by setting day parts and plays. The algorithm calculates diverse hour combinations for each day, providing numerous scheduling possibilities. Manual schedule. As the name suggests, it involves manual selection for each play. This is ideal for agency orders with specific hour selections and requests. In this video, we'll guide you through the initial steps of setting up a campaign. These steps are universal, applicable to all 3 scheduling types. Subsequent videos will showcase each scheduling method, providing in-depth demonstrations. Let's get started. First, log into your AdMaster account using your credentials. Next, click on the Add New Order button located at the top of the page. While the campaign number is automatically assigned, you have the flexibility to use your prefixes and numbering. This prefix could indicate an ad agency or, for multi-station users, a specific station. For the campaign name, choose a title that suits your preferences. It should be something that helps you easily search and recognize the campaign later. We recommend creating a combination of the advertised brand name and a number indicating the year and starting month of the campaign. Now, pick a customer from the drop-down menu. If you're dealing with a new customer, begin by creating a customer record. Afterward, you'll need to restart the process of adding a new campaign. Now, let's explore how to manage your spots. You have a few options here. Select the blue link to instantly upload and process one or more spots. Alternatively, choose the green link if you want to schedule the campaign right away but plan to add the spot files later, which is handy when the spots are still in production. If your playout platform only requires cart numbers or file IDs in the traffic log, opt for the orange link. Keep in mind that with this option, you'll need to deliver the spots to the playout PC on your own, separate from AdMaster. Now, let's proceed with the blue option. Click the button to upload your spots to the AdMaster server. Here, your spots are clearly listed, with their duration automatically calculated by AdMaster. Keep in mind, this duration represents the length of the files, not the recorded content. If there's any extra silence at the end, you might want to adjust the duration manually. It's important to note that AdMaster doesn't modify the files. So, if there are, say, 3 seconds of silence at the end of a spot, and you set the duration to 28 seconds, AdMaster will use that 28-second duration for all further calculations. However, you'll need to set the cue point in your playout software to trim or skip the silence accordingly. The play button here will play the spot file in a pop-up window. The gear button opens a pop-up window for spot settings. Changing the name here allows you to rename it to a more user-friendly title, which is useful when dealing with lots of spots with coded names. By default, the spots are labeled with letters, but you can change this to names of your choice, such as LO for longer, SHO for shorter spots, WKND for the weekend spot, and so on. The label color for the spot can be changed here. We've already covered how to edit the duration. The edit link accesses the same setting from the General Spots page. By default, AdMaster will attempt to keep spots recorded by the same voice artist separate. However, the voices are not recognized automatically, so you'll need to provide extra information. If you skip this step, AdMaster will assume that the spot can be scheduled next to any other. These are voices from our demo campaigns, but your AdMaster account will display a blank page here, so you'll need to add the performers as the spots arrive. Please note that the entries are very sensitive, so Peter and Pete Johnson will be treated as 2 entirely different performers. In case you get a spot with unknown performers, a good idea is to label them with your internal names, such as Coca-Cola Male or Coca-Cola Female. If your playout software uses cart numbers or any unique ID numbers to identify spots, you'll need to provide that ID number here. AdMaster can automatically generate the ID numbers for you. To configure the format of these numbers, you need to access the default auto-generated numbers in the Settings section. If you're using AdMaster for more than one station, you'll be able to assign separate ID numbers for each station. Finally, the checkbox at the bottom determines if the spot can be used to top up shorter breaks. For advanced top-up options, you can check the commercial break settings in the Stations section. If you're using AdMaster for more than one station, you can customize this option for each station separately. Now, to illustrate how spots are grouped, I'll upload 2 additional short spots, Reminder 1 and 2. Per the client's order, Reminder number 1 is to be played in the same break, a few spots after the Holiday Sip spot, while Reminder 2 is to be played in the same break, a few spots after the Taste the Bubbles spot. To achieve this, I will create 2 spot groups. In the first group, the leading spot is Holiday Sips, and the reminder spot is Reminder number 1. The spot group name and label are internal values, so choose something that helps you identify it later. I'll keep the suggested name and change the label to G1, as in group number 1. Now that the group is created, if I schedule G1 for any hour, AdMaster will add spots A and C to the same commercial break. The leading spot will be scheduled towards the beginning, while the reminder spot will be scheduled towards the end of the break. The number of reminder spots in a group is not limited. Similarly, for the second group, I'll select the leading spot and 1 or more reminder spots. This way, when I schedule G2 for any hour, AdMaster will ensure that spots B and D are placed together in the same commercial break. The leading spot will be scheduled earlier in the break, while the reminder spot will be towards the end. You can create as many spot groups as needed to meet your scheduling requirements. I will now delete these spot groups to keep the tutorial as simple as possible. Now, let's address the same business separation aspect. We're setting up a campaign for Coca-Cola. Pepsi is a clear competitor, while McDonald's may or may not be considered a competitor. All of them have been assigned to the food and drink category in their customer records. If I remove McDonald's from this list, AdMaster will assume that Coca-Cola and McDonald's spots can be scheduled next to each other. Reviewing the full separation list displays all active campaigns, allowing you to manually check or uncheck the same business separation. Why would you want to do this? Let's consider a scenario where the Costa Cruises Island Hopping campaign explicitly mentions Pepsi, like buy a family pack and register to win a cruise with Costa. In this case, you do want to separate the Costa Cruises and Coca-Cola campaigns, even though the customers belong to entirely different business branches. Finally, for later billing purposes, you might want to calculate the price of this campaign. Enabling the checkbox will reveal additional options, allowing you to base the calculation on one of the previously created price models. Alternatively, you can manually set the price for this campaign. Okay, now that we've added and processed the spots, we're ready to set the campaign dates. By default, the campaign is set to start on the same date as its creation and run for 30 days. You can easily change the starting date here. For the ending date, you have several options. You can use the pre-selection of 30, 60, 90, or 365 days. You can manually enter the duration in days. You can run the campaign until manually stopped, or you can select a specific ending date. Whatever your selection, you can check these boxes for an earlier end to the campaign if certain conditions are met. The campaign can be stopped when the total number of plays has been reached or when the campaign duration in seconds has been reached. Up to this point, the campaign setup process has been uniform for all types. However, moving forward, your setup journey will diverge based on the scheduling method you choose. Join us in the upcoming videos for in-depth tutorials tailored to each schedule type. Thanks for joining us in this segment. Happy broadcasting!